evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news updates, debates and my opinions. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We are on the way to 11,700 subscribers. And if you could click the like button, I would be incredibly grateful. We're actually like 12 subscribers away from 11,700. So, come on, let's do it this stream. It's a Sunday. It's the end of the weekend. There's lots to talk about. Obviously, the boys went on tour today. We know the whole team that have gone, the whole squad that have gone. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Calafiori, a couple of other things as well. But it's good to see so many of you here. Pekka, Icarus, Leonardo, Jakob, Ethan, Smort, Saka the Goat, Max Evans, Ross Lawman, Jack Taxi, Milioyoyoy, Sam Kenny, Layla, Hyper, Junior Films, VV Vlad, El Minister, George Christodoulou, Kazanex, Hannah, Tentego, Magnus, Smithy, and many, many more. It is good to see you all. I'm convinced Calafiori is just a figment of our imagination at this point. Well, there was one point last night where we thought we'd got the here we go from Calafiori's now ex-girlfriend. Turned out that wasn't quite the truth. The story around that was that basically earlier in the week, a TikTok account that had never posted any videos before posted a video from a party where Calafiori seemed to go off with another woman that was not Calafiori's girlfriend. Anyway, over the last day or so, they both deleted any existence of the other person on their Instagrams. And then a random TikTok page that was apparently, turns out, impersonating her, released like a TikTok story claiming that the move was already happening. But apparently it's not. So we don't have the here we go yet. Fabrizio thought he was out of a job, but we don't have it yet. Yeah, we'll talk about Tomiyasu. We will talk about Tomiyasu. Thoughts on Bashir hitting the Cole Palmer celebration after taking a wicket earlier? It's just not cricket. It's just not cricket. Have you played through the episode of The Walking Dead? Yeah. Well, yeah. By the time we stream later on, I will have done. Yeah, we'll be live on Twitch later. As always, link is down in the description to that. But look, let's get into it. Let's get into the team that is traveling to the United States. Arsenal basically confirmed Kieran Tierney with a hamstring injury and Takahiro Tomiyasu with a knee injury will not travel to the USA for Arsenal's pre-season tour and will instead remain in London to receive treatment from the club's medical staff. Now, we knew about Kieran Tierney, right? That hamstring injury was about 6 weeks, they reckon, so he was never going to go. Tomiyasu, obviously, we mentioned it yesterday after he didn't play or the day before when he didn't play. I can't remember which day it was, but he didn't play in that behind closed doors game. It was yesterday, wasn't it? And now we know why. He's got a knee injury. How you pick up a knee injury in pre-season training, I don't even know. They also confirmed that Gabriel Magalhaes, Gabriel Martinelli, and Kai Havertz will all join the squad from July the 25th. So they will be there for the United game and the Liverpool game. Meanwhile, Declan Rice, Aaron Ramsdale, Bukayo Saka, David Raya, and William Saliba will all link up with the squad on their return from America. So those five will not be in America. No Charlie Patino either. So whilst Charlie Patino has been in pre-season training, he has not been taken on the tour, which I think suggests that he will be moving on imminently, basically. We've got plenty of players that we're expecting to sell this summer. They've all gone on the tour. Charlie Patino hasn't even gone. On Tomiyasu's injury, James Benge has said Takahiro Tomiyasu could miss the entirety of Arsenal's pre-season preparations in both the US and afterwards in England. He's estimated to be sidelined for 2 to 3 weeks following a knee issue. Now, 2 to 3 weeks, I suppose, wouldn't be too bad if he's fit for the start of the season. It's not ideal preparation going into the start of the season. And it just once again highlights the big and glaring issue with Tomiyasu. And that is, he is injury prone. He is injury prone. And, it puts us in a difficult position as well this window because I've said all along, but especially since we're signing Calafiori, one of Kivior and Tomiyasu needs to be sold. And it looks like that's more likely to be Kivior because there's a lot more interest in him. But you can't sell Kivior if you don't think Tomiyasu is going to be fit because then we're left light again. We can't go into this as much as, look, I've spoken about the rotation between White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, and Calafiori. If you've basically only got those five and then Zinchenko, but I think he's being phased out. If you only got those five, one of them in Calafiori is brand new to the club, and one of them in Timber still really doesn't have much Premier League experience, then you're left light again. So I think it's really difficult to sell Kivior if you can't rely on Tomiyasu to be relatively fit. And at this point, I would just sell Tomiyasu. I really would. If we sell Kivior and need to sign another Tomiyasu replacement, then who would you go for? Well, I think Jorel Hato is the long-term one. So for me, I would actually sell Tomiyasu this summer, keep hold of Kivior, sell Kivior next summer, and bring in Jorel Hato next summer, because we're not getting Hato this summer. So that is what I would do. Tommy injury is only 2 weeks. It's getting blown out of proportion, but of course another injury is concerning. But I'll judge the Tommy issue at the end of the season. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. Well, it's 2 to 3 weeks. He's going to miss the whole of preseason. These are the players, realistically, the players that didn't play at the... In fact, he's really part of an even smaller group of players that we really needed to be ready to hit the ground running at the start of this season. Players that didn't have a huge load last season, that didn't play any football over the summer. Like, they're the ones that need to help the likes of Saliba, Rice, Saka, and I just think it's another one. I mean, I don't even know how he's injured. How is he injured? It's pre-season. Like, if he's getting injured in pre-season training, you know, what happens when we're back into the season again? I think it's a big problem. And yeah, maybe it got blown out of proportion in the sense that it is only 2 to 3 weeks, supposedly. But it's, you know, last season, he had 2 big calf injuries. Season before that, he had a big knee injury. Season before that, he had a calf injury that kept him out for 2 months. I don't know. I do think it's a problem, but we'll see. Would you go for Eze? I would go for Eze, yeah. I would go for Eze. Tommy has to go realistically. You can't count on him staying fit anymore. That's the thing. I get that. When he's fit, he is an excellent player at the specific role that he has within a team in terms of 1v1 defending. The versatility to play the whole way across the back line is fantastic. But all of those things are utterly pointless if you're not fit. And that's the problem. And I do not want to be in a position again like we were last season where Ben White is playing through injury, pain, injections because he's the only option that we've got. So it's tough. I really feel Tommy would be less injured if we played him as a centre-back. But regardless, it's sad. I love him as a player and a professional, but just can't stay fit. Yeah, look, it is sad. And, you know, it's not his fault, right? And I'm sure he is more frustrated than any of us are because it's his career. Like, it must be incredibly frustrating, but there's no room for sentiment, really. And you've got to look at it. One of the biggest things that Man City have managed to thrive on is all of their players having relatively good injury histories, other than John Stones. Tomiyasu disrespect is crazy. It's not disrespect. I'll be honest, this annoyed me on Twitter. It's not disrespect. What do you, like, we look at players. If I was looking at signing a player and they had Tomiyasu's injury history, that for me would be probably not. It's not disrespectful. It's just factual. You can't just ignore it because he's a nice guy and when he's fit, he's a good player. Like, you can't just ignore the glaringly obvious problem that he has. I like him, but he's not even that good for us to treat him like our John Stones. Yeah, I agree. He's not John Stones quality, so you don't put up with, okay, he gets injured a fair bit. I don't know if you talked about it yesterday, but why did Nelson start over Nwaneri? Could be a number of reasons. Nwaneri doesn't necessarily need as much. I don't know. Maybe because Reece Nelson's meant to be on the market still. There are still opportunities for players to raise their value during preseason. His injury record is worse than Zinchenko and Jesus, maybe even Partey. I don't think it's as bad as Partey's, but it is bad. It is bad. Zinchenko's isn't as bad. He just has a lot of smaller injuries. The problem with Tomiyasu as well is that when he gets injured, he's always out for longer than he's meant to be, if that makes sense. With all of his injuries so far, he's taken longer than they predicted for him to come back. whereas other players might get injured and then they'll come back earlier than expected. So yeah, it's tough. Anyway, in terms of other players, or in terms of the squad itself that is going, there is a massive, massive opportunity for youngsters here. I was reading this thing that Connor Humm put together, right? In the 2022 preseason, we took one academy player. It was Raul Walters. Last summer, on the preseason tour, we took one academy player. It was Mario Kosciuszko. This preseason tour, of the 26 players going, 12 of them are academy players. Tommy Setford, who signed his contract today, Lucas Nygaard, another keeper, Alexi Rojas, Josh Nichols, Aidan Heaven, Omar Rekic, Mikel Rosiak, Mars Lewis Skelly, Ethan Nwaneri, Salah Eddinu Ladmahand, Jimmy Gower, and Charles Sago Jr. All of them are going on preseason. There is a massive opportunity for these players to put a bit of a stamp on a chance to play in the first team this season. Obviously, we'll be looking at the big ones, your Nwaneris, your Miles Lewis Skellys, but it's not just them. All of the keepers that are going are academy players. We don't have a single senior goalkeeper actually going. I'll be interested to see Tommy Setford, who is by far and away the best academy goalkeeper that we have. In terms of, obviously, he's spent the last 10 years at Ajax. But yeah, I get that but it all seems a bit reactionary to me. Selling Tommy is not an option as we won't get money for him. It will send Arsenal back quite a bit to get rid and need to blow 30 to 40 million to replace him. But what's the solution? Like, I agree, we wouldn't get much money for him. But I don't want to sell Kivior and then be left without Tomiyasu for half of the season, and all of a sudden we don't have that much depth in defence. Like, I don't know what the solution is, unless we just hope that he stays fit all season. But there's just nothing to prove that he will. I think that's the problem. You got to, we only spent 20 million on him. Sometimes you just got to cut your losses. I don't know. I feel like Arsenal doesn't use the youth players. Saka, Cole are the only two players that actually played well or got a chance. But again, what youth players have shown that they're good enough to play for Arsenal, other than Ethan Nwaneri, who's 15? Like, I feel like people don't realise how unbelievably rare Bukayo Saka is, in the same way that Phil Foden is for Man City. Like, Kobbie Mainoo for Man United. How often do these players come? All right, they brought through Garnacho, but Garnacho they bought for like 7 million. That's no different to us buying Martinelli. Like, I feel like with the academy players, you can't just play academy players because you need to play youth when you're chasing a title. You can't do it. Don't sell Kivior or Tommy. But then that means but if we don't do that, okay, even if we sell Zinchenko, that still means that we've got 7 senior defenders. One of them wouldn't even be in a matchday squad. I don't know. I don't know. I agree, Rory. And the difference with that is, so you'd have, let's say you had White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber as your back four to start the season, because Calafiori is not going to start right off the bat. Calafiori on the bench, and then either Tomiyasu or Kivior on the bench. That means you've got one of Kivior and Tomiyasu not even in the squad, and Calafiori and the other option are quite similar as well. I don't know. I don't feel like it's that balanced. But Arteta really can't win. If we don't sign players, him and Edu should be sacked. If we don't promote every youth player, people say Arteta hates youth players. He can't win. I said that exact thing on Twitter. The exact same people that complain that we don't promote youth are also the ones that complain that we haven't made enough signings and we haven't made signings quickly enough. And then you end up in this where it's like, okay, so you want to make these signings. Those signings directly block pathways for youth players. So it's a difficult one. It is a difficult one. But anyway, look, that's the situation. I'm looking forward to seeing the academy players on tour. I think that's going to be really interesting. And hopefully, Tomiyasu's injury isn't bad and he is back within 2 to 3 weeks. Charlie Patino, not going. I assume he's getting sold. He's not injured, so I assume he's getting sold. I hear we're also after Mark Guehi. Any truth to this? More defenders? I mean, that would make sense. If you were selling Kivior and Tomiyasu, it would make sense to maybe go and get Guehi. I'd be very surprised. I'd be very, very surprised if we got. I think Calafiori is instead of Guehi. I would make. Also, it's too expensive. He's too expensive. So I don't see that happening. Anyway, like I said, Tommy Setford. We officially signed Tommy Setford today. He himself said, I want to thank Arsenal for this opportunity. I can't wait to hit the ground running. I'm looking forward to learning new things next season and pushing myself to another level. For the short term, it's very important now to get a feel for the group and to start to know everyone. He said, I already know Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly. They're great guys and I can have a good laugh with them. I spent a few camps with them, so I know them well. I just saw them for a quick meet and greet. So obviously, he's played with them in the England youth teams. So it's pretty good. I'm excited to see how Tommy Setford develops. I do think, he's a very, very promising young goalkeeper. Spending that long at Ajax, by the way, he'll be very good with his feet. He's coming up through the England youth setup as well. It's good. It's good. Rory, are you worried by seeing some of the state of the pitches in the US? Yes. I do not like the fact that I understand the commercial side of going to America. We've seen it. We saw it last summer. Nkunku missed half of the season because of an injury that he picked up for playing on a terrible pitch. Like, the pitches are terrible, and we genuinely do risk our players in pre-season by playing on those pitches. I don't like it. I do not like it. What happened to Patino? He's just not good enough. And this is the thing, right? This is the thing. People would have urged us to start pushing Charlie Patino through to the senior team. He was on loan at Swansea City in the Championship last season, and he wasn't good enough. By the end of the season, he'd been dropped. I've spoken to a number of Swansea fans who said, yeah, he looked decent. You could see he was talented, but actually the team was better when he was on the bench. So this is the thing. I don't think people realize the level that an academy player needs to be if they're going to break through into the first team. The next one is probably going to be Ethan Nwaneri, and that's it. And then you might wait 3 or 4 years for another. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. Do you think the Calafiori deal will stall again now because of the 50% sell-on clause between Bologna and Basel? No, I don't think it will. I don't think it will. Fabrizio earlier on, he said the here we go is coming because there's an agreement between Arsenal and Bologna on a €40 million fixed fee, €5 million in add-ons, and a sell-on clause for Bologna. Despite reports that the deal had stalled, the reality is that negotiations had never stopped. It wasn't easy, but they kept going, and now there's an agreement. And then he said more recently this evening, he followed it up just by saying, look, it's Arsenal are waiting for the green light because Basel and Bologna are discussing the payment terms of that sell-on clause. But yeah, I think it will happen pretty quickly this week. So now with Cala here, is there any reason we might sign Kadioglu? Yeah, Kadioglu was always going to be a very different signing. Whether it's Kadioglu, I mean, some people have reported that we bid for Balde. I'd be surprised if we did. But I still do think there's one more position in the squad for a wing back, like a proper wing back. Almost someone that could end up being a rotational option as an actual winger if they needed to be. If you look back even, the Nuno Tavares signing, Nuno Tavares was never a left back that would fit into the way that we play unless you wanted that option to have that style of wing back. Now, obviously, Nuno Tavares wasn't good enough, but when we were going for Kadioglu, there's no way that you were like, okay, do we get Calafiori or Kadioglu? They have to be two different signings because they are completely different players. Some big names will probably get injured all round. Yeah, probably. No worries. Hi, good to see you. I heard something about a Ukrainian centre-back from Bournemouth. A Ukrainian centre-back from Bournemouth. I don't even know who that is. Week by week, the season is getting closer. It is. We are very close. Other news today. Well, actually, on Calafiori, interestingly, according to Sky Sports, another Premier League club, Juventus and Real Madrid, tried to sign Calafiori within the last 10 days. However, the player only wanted Arsenal, and he gave his word that he would only join Arsenal. Oh, that Zabirny guy. Yeah, I don't know much about him. I know we were interested in Kirkes from Bournemouth, who's a wing back, or more of a wing back. But yeah, Zabirny, I'm not really sure. But yeah, so if Sky are correct, Real Madrid actually inquired about getting Calafiori. And he said, no. Arsenal is my dream. And that's the sort of player we want. That's the sort of player we want. We want players that want Arsenal. Reluctant Nico says Arsenal have made a new and improved offer for Wolves goalkeeper Dan Bentley, thought to be in the region of £300,000, despite Wolves' £1 million valuation. The two clubs are now close to agreeing on a compromise. So it does sound like Dan Bentley is going to come in. I do think he'll be the third choice goalkeeper. If we end up going and getting another goalkeeper this summer, that will be the second choice, but that will only happen if Aaron Ramsdale leaves. But yeah, I think Dan Bentley will be the third choice keeper. Fabrizio said no deal has been agreed between De Bruyne and Al Ittihad. Yeah, he did, but Fabrizio is not the oracle. Fabrizio is not the oracle. So, you know, some sources are saying that De Bruyne has agreed personal terms with Al Ittihad. Fabrizio is not. What's the situation on Nico Williams? Not a lot, to be honest. He still wants Barca. Barca still want him. Barca still can't afford him. It's pretty much like that at the moment. 300k, Edu moving like me, lowballing on eBay. Yeah, but look, every penny helps. Every penny helps. Imagine if you're Wolves, we just offer 600% of our previous offer and it's still only 30% of what they're looking for. Yeah, it is a bit weird. It is a bit weird. Did you see the news about Merino today? Yeah, so there were a couple of bits about Merino today. One came from Javi Gomara, who is specifically an Atletico Madrid journalist. He said the interest, and so Atletico Madrid are interested in Merino. But he says the interest of Arsenal and Barcelona in Merino makes the arrival of the player to Atletico doubtful. And then Relevo later on this evening said Mikel Merino wants to wait to make a decision about his future. The Spaniard has received calls from Arsenal and Barcelona, whilst Atletico Madrid remain interested. Merino has decided to leave Real Sociedad, but has no formal offers yet. So, yeah, it's all a bit up in the air when it comes to Mikel Merino. He's definitely leaving Real Sociedad. It's just about where he ends up. Again, I don't think Barcelona can afford it unless they sell someone. I think I don't know. There were rumors that he wants to stay in Spain. So, I don't know. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Nico Williams is the next best thing after Vinny Jr. Possibly. But it might. Sometimes transfers just aren't doable. And in the case of Nico Williams, there's a number of factors which make that deal very difficult. The first is how much he costs, both in terms of a lump sum buyout clause, but also the wages. And the other thing is that by all accounts, he's not that interested in Arsenal. He wants to stay in Spain. His dream is to play for Barcelona. And so, you know, that makes that deal more difficult to do. But does Barca need another in the midfield? Well, I think they'd have to sell someone. The thing we said yesterday or the day before was that Barcelona would have to sell Frankie de Jong to bring in Mikel Merino. So, which would be an interesting move, in my opinion. You've already got Frankie de Jong. Other than being a bit injury prone, I don't know. I find that interesting. So, did you see the report where players are reluctant to listen to Man City offers due to 115? Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, if you look at it, right, even if Kevin De Bruyne hasn't agreed personal terms with Al Ittihad, he's not signing a new Man City contract. As it stands, De Bruyne is out of contract next summer and he's not signing a new deal. So Ederson, again, wants to move to Al Ittihad or wants to move to Saudi, and it's most likely going to be Al Ittihad. You know, big players for them are not signing new deals. Pep isn't signing a new deal. It's falling apart. It's all falling apart. For the same price and wages, would you rather Frankie de Jong or Bruno G? Bruno G, I think long term, because Frankie de Jong's injuries do concern me a bit. It would be nice to see. It would be nice to see Tommy Setford against United and Liverpool and see how good he is, or if he isn't ready yet. Well, do you know what I think they'll do? Do you know what I think they'll do? In my opinion, I might be completely wrong. All four keepers that are going on this tour are academy goalkeepers, right? I think there's 4 of them. We play 3 games, so there's 6 halves. I think Setford plays a full game in total. Nygaard plays a full game in total. And then Rojas and Nichols play half a game each. I think that's what probably happens. I think that Barcelona want Merino because Romeo wasn't that great. Well, I mean, anyone that expected Romeo to be great was a bit crazy, to be honest. Why do you think footballers don't accept pay cuts? Like, if I was getting paid 50k a week, I would be more than satisfied. You get into a different mindset, though, don't you? Right? So I'd be absolutely buzzing my tits off with 50 grand a week. But if I just spent 4 years getting paid 100 grand a week, and then they turned around to me and said, "Yeah, you're worth half of that now," I'll probably be quite annoyed. So I think that's the difference. How about Hayne? Oh no, yeah, no, you're right. Actually, you're right. One of those people I just mentioned is not even a goalkeeper. I don't think. It'll be Hayne, but I'm not sure that Hayne will play that much if he's going to go out on loan. And in fact, Hayne's loan deal may well happen. Yeah, I forgot about Hayne. Hayne's loan deal may well happen during the tour, which would then obviously even more open the door to Setford, Nygaard, and Rojas. So I don't think most people will take a pay cut. Yeah, that's the thing. It's more like when are you going live today? We're live now. We're live now. But I'm live on Twitch later on. I'll be live on Twitch later on, about 10:30, about 10:30. By the way, if you've not already clicked the like button, this seems like a good time to ask you. There's 300 of you here. Please do get us up to 100 likes. If we're not on 100 likes right now, please do. It takes you 2 seconds to click the like button, and it really, really does help me out. But yeah, so if Hayne moves on during the tour, then that will open the door as well. Need to move Tommy on. He's never really available. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. I'm really excited to see Setford. Yeah, me too. I am very excited to see Setford. So yeah, in the case of Merino, we'll wait and see. I mean, once Calafiori's done, the next stop has to be a midfielder. PSG, by the way, are moving quickly on both João Neves and Victor Osimhen. So that is two big players that are going to be off the market potentially pretty quickly, which is frustrating. Mystery German, I'm more and more convinced the Mystery German never existed. I am more and more convinced that Mystery German thing was nonsense. And therefore, anyone really who committed to that Mystery German thing, I think you got to question them a little bit, because it seemed like we laughed at it, right? When I made that TikTok based on that Mystery German thing from the other TikTok, it was laughable. It was a laughable thing. And then a couple of people actually jumped on it and gave it credibility, which meant we all gave it credibility. And now it's just non-existent. How long do you see Zinni playing for Arsenal? I don't know. I think if an offer came in this summer, we'd sell Zinni. I do think if an offer came in, we'd sell Zinni this summer. Realistically, I mean, right now, well, once Calafiori is done and dusted, we've got 2 back fours. We've got 8 defenders. That's too many. I mean, really, actually more than that. If you include Kieran Tierney, we've got 9. We've got 9 senior defenders at the club right now. We've got to start selling. You could have a back four of White, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, and you could build another back four of Timber, Tomiyasu, Kivior, and Zinchenko. I mean, it's insane. TNAT stocks are plummeting. I've been telling you TNAT fell off bad. I don't want to slate just him. It wasn't just him. It wasn't just him that posted the Mystery German stuff. On a positive, it looks like Nketiah and ESR are next. Yeah. So this is the thing, right? Marseille want Nketiah, but they're never going to pay what we want for him. West Ham might be interested in Nketiah. They're also interested in Reece Nelson. I can't imagine them doing both of them. So I don't know. Biden literally dropped out and we're still waiting for the Cali deal. Has Joe Biden actually dropped out officially? Is that a thing? Has Joe Biden actually dropped out officially? Oh, he has. Well, there you go. Live on air, Joe Biden has dropped out. He is Comunicado Oficial from Joseph Biden. Today, America has the strongest blah, 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 blah. Well, is he actually? Well, I don't know. I can't be bothered to read all that. It's a load of yap. But anyway, Here we go. Joe Biden is gone. So there you go. By the way, I don't like to get political, right? I don't like to get political. But that's basically admitting what everyone has been saying for ages, that he's not capable of running the country. If he's not capable of running for election, how is he still the president? How is the president of arguably the biggest power on earth? How is he, like, I don't know. Anyway, we're not going to get political, but that is mental. That is mental, chicken oriental. We've not heard Ramsdale links in a while. I think he might just stay. Maybe. It's difficult. It's difficult moving first choice goalkeeper. Well, he's not a first choice goalkeeper, but he would be for anyone else. It's very difficult moving them when no one needs a goalkeeper. You know, outside of Chelsea, who are potentially looking at Lunin or whoever, the big clubs don't need goalkeepers right now. Unless he went Man City. I didn't even think about that. If Ederson goes, do you reckon Man City would bid for Ramsdale? That's literally, that thought has not even occurred to me once until it just did. Maybe. Newcastle? I don't think they can afford it, though. Newcastle haven't got much money to spend, and the money that they do have, I don't think they're going to spend on a goalkeeper. I heard something about Rambo linked to the Saints, or loan to the Saints. Yeah, but again, I'm not sure Ramsdale going on loan to a club that's going to concede a lot of goals. I'm not sure that's useful. I'm not sure it really helps anyone. It helps Southampton, but it doesn't help Arsenal. By the way, there are literally people who will be like, no, don't believe I don't believe it until Fabrizio says it. I don't believe it until Fabrizio says it. They actually annoy me. The people that say that, genuinely, it grates me. When legitimate journalists have reported on things and people are like, not until Romano says it. No. Never heard Ornstein say anything on the German scandal. Says a lot. Because he never would. Ornstein would never report on something like that until he had the actual facts. Ever. That is not Ornstein behavior. He doesn't speculate, really. Yeah, he would never do that. He would never do that. The GOAT. That's why Ornstein's the best? Yeah, that is why Ornstein is the best. I reckon do that voice for the whole stream? I don't think so. Incredible vocal range. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. What time were you up to playing The Walking Dead last night? No, I started redoing that chapter today. Honestly, that pissed me off more than... Not many things have pissed me off that much recently, but my decision, and I blame it on the fact that episode had been going off too long, pissed me right off. James Trafford is Newcastle goalkeeper with Pope, so no way of signing Rambo. Yeah, I agree. Anyway, it is time for... Oh, wait, just check I've done everything. I have done everything. It is time for Guess the Guna, the game where I give you 5 clues about an ex or current Arsenal player, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the RoryTalksFootball community. To get your fingers on your keyboards, because we are starting now. I'll be live on Twitch at about 10:15. This player retired in 2023. Clue number 2, they had 229 appearances for Arsenal. Clue number 2, they had 229 appearances for Arsenal. Clue number 3, they won 3 FA Cups. Clue number 3, they won 3 FA Cups. Clue number 4, they moved from Arsenal to West Brom in 2017. Clue number 4, they moved from Arsenal to West Brom in 2017. And clue number 5, they were once famously sent off in a case of mistaken identity. Clue number 5, they were once famously sent off in a case of mistaken identity. Who is the player? Who got it first? It was taking people a while. The first few clues, admittedly, were, not... I suppose they weren't too vague. Not many players would have retired last year specifically, but let's have a look. Who was first? We're not getting VAR checked. It was... It was Jamie. It was indeed Kieran Gibbs. And Jamie got it first. I think a lot of people obviously got it after the West Brom clue. Guno was second. Vivi Vlad was third. Jake was fourth. And Ethan Udall was fifth. But there you go, Jamie. Congratulations. Congratulations. I guessed Gibbs multiple times a few weeks ago. Oh, wait. VAR? VAR? Why are people saying VAR? James Bidder wants VAR and Spacetime wants VAR. Why? Why is everyone saying VAR? For God's sake. Well, who am I looking for? Who am I looking for? Who am I? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Give me a name. Stop spamming VAR and say VAR X person won. What? It's Jamie on mine. Ethan was fifth. What am I looking for here? Oh, wait. Oh, no, wait, you are right. Oh, well. Well, then. Well. I mean, I guess a V is next. I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a tricky one. This is subjective. I will say this is subjective. This is subjective. Gibbs is good enough. Gibbs is good enough. Okay. We've been influenced. Goal for Jamie disallowed. Goal given, Ethan Udall. Ethan Udall gets it. Jamie has very graciously handed it over. You know what? Top 10 respect moments for Jamie. He's handed it over. Fair play. Respect. There you go. Leo, thank you very, very much for being a member for 3 months. Whereabouts will we be starting The Walking Dead tonight? We will be starting The Walking Dead tonight at the decision that I absolutely screwed up last night. We'll be starting from that decision, and I'll be making the opposite decision because that it wasn't me. It wasn't us. It wasn't, it was wrong. It was all wrong. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Non-Gooner. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal. And you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community, but not as much respect as Ethan Udall currently has. This player started their career at the Man City Academy. This player started their career at the Manchester City Academy. They moved permanently to Chelsea. They then moved permanently back to Manchester City. They then moved permanently to QPR. They then moved permanently to New York Red Bull. And then they moved permanently to Arizona United. Who is the player? City Academy, Chelsea, back to City, QPR, New York Red Bull, Arizona United. Lots of people were going for Cole Palmer. Again, I want to make sure I don't get VAR checked here, so I will be looking out for bad spelling as well. Now, again, right, now, okay, right, okay. So, right. I mean, that is literally the answer as well. What do we do here? What do we do? Because this, Jamie with this is first, but this is the answer. Sean Wright Phillips is the answer. Now, do we give Wright? Because that is a different player. We've got, this is really... Now, I feel like giving it to Jamie because he was gracious in the other one. Give it to Jamie. Be honest, Jamie. Did you mean Sean Wright Phillips? Be honest. I mean, this is tough. But but he might have meant Ian Wright. But Ian Wright's one of the most famous Arsenal players you could think of. And this is Guess the Non-Gooner. Honestly did. We're going to give it to him. He was honest before. We're going to give it to him. We've given it to him. We've given it to him. There you go. Decision made. Decision made. Second was Iron Boy. Third was VV Vlad. Fourth was Harry Price. And fifth was Ethan Udall. So there you go. There you go. Goal given. Goal given. There you go. Anyway, look, that is going to be the end of the stream. I appreciate all of you for watching. If you could like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be back live tomorrow at 6:30 as normal. We'll be live later on Twitch, like I said, 10:15, 10:30, something like that. But if you're not joining that, then I hope you have a fantastic evening, the end of your weekend, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Goodbye.